everybody, I'm Kyla. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna do something that I wasn't really planning on doing, but I have nothing else better to do or talk about right now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a look at this Instagram account that I find absolutely hilarious. I thought it was satire at first, but she went on a podcast and said it was not satire, and she posted on her story a while ago that everything she posts is absolutely for real. And I was like, you're kidding, right? Because there's some insane things on here that I don't really want to get into because it's ridiculous. Okay, so this account is called the Annoyed Teenager, and we're gonna look at some of her posts. She doesn't have very many. There's only 21. Bitch is a word for women to say to women. Swipe for why. Just from the cover, I'm concerned. I'm concerned for her, honestly. The history. Women for years have been called a bitch without consequence for centuries, thanks to all oppressive patriarchy. It is currently legal in all 50 states for a man to, in an unprovoked state of anger, call a woman a bitch. Yes, it is legal for someone to call someone else a bitch because in America, we have this thing called free speech. You can say anything you want as long as you're not inciting violence or physically harming a person. Taking it back, reclamation is an important step to self-actualization. Next time you see a man use the word bitch, even in a joking tone, be sure to remind them of the grim history behind the word, used to equate women to dogs. I have nothing to say to that, honestly. That's just ridiculous. Okay. Free speech is not hate speech. I can tell, like, this post is going to be stupid because that's exactly what free speech is. That's why it was created, so that we could say things other people won't like and things other people won't agree with. We're allowed to disagree and we're allowed to call people names. It's not nice, but it's not illegal. The difference. Free speech was created to defend the persecuted in an inalienable fundamental human right that exists to let the unheard become heard. First of all, that's not what free speech is. Free speech was technically created in terms of the United States because they wanted to be able to freely criticize the government and have there be no consequences just for simply disagreeing with someone of a higher power. The difference. Hate speech is a privileged, systematic way of speaking which is intended to offend, hurt the persecuted. Hate speech should always be defined by the victim. The distinction comes when the perpetrator is in a superior societal position over the other. This is when mean speech becomes hate speech. Kindness and respect should be a given when speaking to underprivileged persons. If they take action against your hate speech, you should probably listen and learn. Okay, first of all, you should be kind and respectful towards everybody, not just these so-called underprivileged people. And you don't have to be in a superior position to be mean to somebody. If you're going to go with free speech or hate speech is free speech, then at least make it make sense. Anybody can be hateful. That's just how the world works. Sorry, Karen, but by this point, if you have to ask if what you said was hate speech, it likely was. Any offense given toward those below you on the systematic hierarchy is by definition hate speech. A muscular woman calling a fat woman a lard fuck. I think that slide is quite hypocritical just by assuming that a fat woman is below. Just the assumption that a fat woman is below a muscular woman in the systematic hierarchy is kind of rude. Is this allowed? Yes, conservatives do it daily by existing. The right-wing set of beliefs is inherently hateful. No. The system they support is one that brings them up and smothers everybody else. The conservative belief system is created to bring everyone up and based on the idea that anybody can make it in society, but you know what? It's fine. Therefore, anytime a conservative speaker speaks at a university or stadium, they are being hateful and engaging in hate speech by definition. So if a person is on campus and happens to be conservative and they're there talking about the worldwide hunger crisis and promoting and if they're promoting a company or organization that brings food and water to underprivileged people in third world countries, that's hate speech because they're conservative. Just making sure that's what we're talking about here. Fitness culture is evil. I'm not even gonna glorify this post. I mean, it's not evil to want to be healthy. There's nothing evil about it. So apparently, if you want to be healthy and you work out and you eat right, you're an evil person. Memes that are socially toxic are not funny. I mean, they can be. There's different types of humor. There's other people that exist in the world, not just you. There's other senses of humor. Not everything is about you. Some people are going to find things funny that you don't find funny. Get over it. It's a joke. Sorry, Brad, it's not. When originally attacked for his writing publication, Mein Kampf, Adolf Hitler defended himself under the Moto Satura thought process, stating he was just joking and the writing process was all a practical joke and he was temporarily let off the hook. We all know what happened next. That's a pretty big leap to assume that saying a joke will lead to a Holocaust. That is a big leap. Okay, there's other factors that played into that. Adolf Hitler was a terrible person. It wasn't just that he made a joke and all of a sudden hated Jews and wanted to kill them all. That's not how that worked. The following few slides will be memes that were really posted. Seriously, we're not joking. That one's funny because it's true. No, just that's my problem. I mean, skip. How many times do I have to tell you to buy the groceries? Liz, what are you, fucking retarded or something? I don't even watch this show. I think it's incredibly stupid, but that's hilarious. This is not okay. Yes, it is. The WNBA is as good as the NBA. The average NBA player's salary is $7.7 million per year, while the average WNBA salary is $116,000 per year. Okay, for one thing, there's a reason for that. The reason would be that not as many people watch the WNBA and not as many people go to WNBA games. They're not making as much revenue because people just don't want to go to the WNBA. Nobody cares. Frankly, I don't care about sports in any way, shape, or form, so I'm not giving money to either of those organizations. Your preferences are prejudiced. And which preferences would that be? Sorry, Chaz, your sole sexual attraction to a thin white cis woman is not a preference. It's internalized misogyny coupled with transphobia, ableism, and racism. By excluding these groups as potential partners, you are engaging in active bigotry. I just don't even understand that. So because I don't like women, because I'm not lesbian, because I prefer men, I am a bigot. Okay, if that's what you think makes a bigot, I will accept that title of bigot. Straw person argument. Many right-wingers will use the straw person argument, saying, what about women who care about a man's height? These two are fundamentally different, if not polar opposite in nature. It's really not. It's a preference. You just, in general, women like men who are taller than them, and men like women who are shorter than them. general preference and it has literally nothing to do with anything. Why do you care? There's no such thing as a sexist woman. Women can be sexist by definition. There's nothing you can do to change that. Just, ugh. Sexism is a power-based system that puts any gender but cis man into a disadvantaged position. Really? Because I'm not a cis man, I don't feel disadvantaged at all. Or is it because I'm white? Is it because I'm white that I have that privilege? And that's why I don't feel that I'm unprivileged because I'm a female? They'd probably say yes. A woman would have to be, in order to be a sexist, a woman would have to have societal power. That's not the definition. Oh my God. Take the dictionary definition of the word, and the dictionary definition of the word is basically excluding a person based on their sex, or not liking a person based on their sex, or saying you can't have this because of your sex. That's sexism. We are victims. You heard it right. By merely existing, every single non-male identifying person is a victim. Treat them with respect. That's the only point you've made so far that I agree with. Treat them with respect, because everybody deserves respect. And when they express their concerns and take them seriously. If you are not part of this group, you will never understand. Unlearn your bigotry. I'm part of the group. I don't understand. It's okay to only read news that you agree with. I'm not even gonna go into the why of this post, because no, it's not. I listen to all kinds of news every day, all the time. I'm on social media quite a bit, and that's inherently biased towards the left. So I read posts and news articles that I don't agree with all the time, because you have to understand the other side. Look at what they're saying and then decide if you agree or disagree more with which point of view. That's the only way you can know for sure what you agree with and what your views are. You don't owe conservatives an explanation. Karens, yeehaws, and everything in between will challenge your opinions at any given opportunity. Oftentimes, they will guilt you into arguing with them, leading you into a trap in which you contradict yourself and are faced with gaslighting and microaggressions, specifically tailored to get on your nerves. The basis of conservatism is purposeful inequality. You do not owe anything to someone who chooses that hill to die on. In my experience, conservatives argue with facts. So if you know that they're going to use facts in an argument and you don't have facts, how is that gaslighting and microaggression? If they're getting on your nerves because they're using facts and you don't have your own facts to dispute, that is your fault, and maybe you should be better prepared in life in general. Be it a random trumpet, an outspoken bigot at the mall, Agent Orange himself, or even the son of Joseph, engage at your own discretion. If you are fully confident in your abilities to push your points, do so as you please. If you're not as knowledgeable as you want to be, there's no shame in ignoring them, exposing them, or pointing out their bigotry instead of making counter-arguments. Hateful beliefs do not always deserve this kind responses. So your basis is that instead of having an actual conversation and actually explaining why you believe what you believe, is to attack the person rather than the belief. That is terrible debate strategy, and I would not suggest it for anyone, especially a leftist, because they tend to get emotional and they truly have no argument. I can't even describe how many times I've argued, not even argued, I wouldn't call it an argument, it's a debate. How many times I've debated a leftist and they had no argument and they had no idea what they were talking about. It's hilarious, and I have fun doing it, truly. You don't have to wear a tampon if you don't want to. We're just gonna say, no, you don't. You can wear pads, but don't bleed freely into your pants, because that's disgusting. Normalize incest. No. Joe Biden touches kids, and that's okay. I can tell how incredibly disgusting this person is because there's nothing okay about touching children. A case for Joe. When Joe Biden touches children, he does it on live TV in front of the whole country. The touching may be referred to as over the top or creepy by some, but he has assured that 100% of his kissing involving children is nothing but consensual. Have you seen videos of him and his interactions with children? They don't look comfortable at all. That's not consent. You want to talk about consent and what is or isn't consent? I'm pretty sure backing away in disgust isn't consensual. Trump is worse. Donald J. Trump is on tape saying he doesn't even wait because he can do anything to women's bodies. President Orange has attempted to appeal to his enemies on countless separate occasions. One important case to know is the situation in which he hinted towards sexual attraction toward his daughter, Ivanka Trump. This fooled many of us into believing he was an ally or perhaps a member of the incest community. But he later finished by saying if she wasn't his daughter, perhaps he'd be dating her. This is harmful towards incestuous beings because it supports the hateful notion that family relations can intervene in romantic or sexual collaboration. Yes, it should. It does. It's not okay, and it's disgusting. This also promotes harmful stereotypes, preconceptions, and acts of racism. The children really don't care. I just said this. I was just talking about this, and this child is backing away. She is trying so hard, and Joe Biden just keeps getting closer and closer, and she's backing away, and she does not look comfortable at all. She cares. She cares a lot. There's nothing okay about that situation at all. It is obvious who needs to be put away. You are correct, and that person is Joe Biden. Yeah, so quite honestly, this account is very confusing, and it's hilarious to look at. I don't know why people take it so seriously. I'm going to say it again. I thought it was satire when I first found it, but then they said it wasn't, and I was like, people actually think like this. This is the world we live in right now.